What's going on, guys? Welcome back to 310 Ranch Life's YouTube channel. My name's Dalton Darnell, and today in this video I'm going to teach you how to build the perfect roping dummy for only 25 bucks. Before we jump into the video, guys, it looks like 80% of you that watch our content are not subscribed. So hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to get notified for all the new videos coming out on 310 Ranch Life's YouTube channel. Additionally, we are starting a brand new YouTube channel solely dedicated to our educational website at 310edu. So if you like content like this, if you like teaching content where we're showing the roping shots and how to develop your skills as a hand, go follow us at 310edu on our brand new YouTube channel. The link is in the description. Go give it a follow. You'll watch tons of content just like this. We're gonna do live streams on different roping shots. That is also where we're gonna house the Art of Suffering podcast. So we're gonna repost those podcast episodes on that channel, and we'll have a new podcast coming out every week. Guys, thank y'all so much for your support. Go check out all the fresh new content at 310edu. All right, guys, like I said in the intro, today we're gonna build the perfect roping dummy. So what you're gonna need to get started is you're gonna need a drill, you're gonna need some 3-inch wood screws, you're gonna need 3 8-foot 2x4s, a speed square, and something to cut your wood with. Guys, if you have the tools, which most of you probably do, this is a $25 project. I know roping dummies are astronomically expensive in today's day. I've looked them up. I've thought about just buying myself one for the shop here, but I just can't bring myself to spend the money when you can build one for $25. So basically, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna need to cut 4 2-foot pieces. These are gonna be our legs. We're gonna cut 2 3-foot 10 pieces. 310, come on. We're gonna need to cut 2 10-inch pieces, and then we're also gonna cut a 1-foot kicker for the front of the dummy. We're gonna screw it all together, and then we're gonna go to roping it. It's pretty easy. So let's jump into getting our wood cut, measured and cut. That way we can go to building it. Okay. Check 1, 2. See what it looks like. If you guys don't work with 2x4s very often, 8-footers are usually gonna be a little longer than 8 foot. So keep that in mind. You're probably gonna have to measure that last piece to make sure they're all as close to 2 foot as humanly possible. What you don't want is to have one leg longer than everything else when you put it together, then your dummy will be all cattywampus and weird. So make sure you cut off that extra 1/2 inch at the end of your last piece. All right, guys, now we got all our pieces cut to put our dummy together. So what we're looking at here is we have 2 10-inch pieces. This is gonna be the nose of the calf. And the reason why I put a nose on my calf is so when I'm practicing my running shots, it's more realistic. Those dummies that just have a head that sticks straight out, a calf's head doesn't stick straight out. And so when you're practicing running shots, you gotta put dip in your rope to be able to get it over the calf's nose. And if you don't have anything there, then it's not the best practice it could be, right? We have 2 3-foot 10-inch pieces for the body of the calf, and then we have 4 2-foot pieces for the legs of the calf. Now this is a pretty small dummy, but I like my roping dummy on the ground to be small, so it's kind of scaled down because I'm not on my horse. I usually wouldn't rope a dummy of this size from my horse, so if you want to make one for your horse, just make it a little bit bigger, maybe 2.5-foot legs and maybe a 4.5-foot body with all the other same components. We also cut a 1.5-foot piece for a kicker so that the dummy is not wobbly and I can pull my slack as hard as I want and it's not going to pull the dummy over. So with all that being said, let's get to screwing this thing together. Okay, real quick before we get started, guys, I am going to modify these 10-inch pieces, but I'll show you that once we get to that step. There's a way that I measure them and then just cut the tops off so there's nothing sticking off the top of the dummy, and it's flush so that nothing's catching your rope when you're throwing your shot. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna flush up our 2 3-foot 10-inch pieces and make sure that they're flush on both ends and the sides, and then we're just gonna screw these together with a couple of screws. And then what I would like to do here is I want to put the screws in a place where it's not going to affect when I put my legs on. So when we put our legs on the dummy, I'm going to put two legs at the very back, and then I'm going to put 2 legs 1 foot in to the head. So they'll be separated out by about 2 feet and give me about 1 foot of neck sticking off of the dummy once I have mine. So it doesn't take much, just maybe 1 screw on each side just to keep them kind of binded together well. But I'm going to do them in the middle, like I said, so they don't interfere with my legs. All right, so now that's the body of our dummy. So once we have that done, we're just going to pop these legs on the back. And usually I'm just going to flush these up, get them flush there, and I'm going to put 2 screws in each of these. The reason why we're going to do 2 is because if you only do 1, they'll swivel and get all weird. We're going to just rinse and repeat that with the second leg. So like I said before, I'm going to measure, 10 inches, 1 foot into the dummy. That way, we actually have a neck for the dummy. So I'm going to mark this at 1 foot here, and then I'm just going to put my other 2 foot leg right in the middle of that, like so, right in the middle of that mark. And that gives me plenty of room here for the nose of my dummy, and then it gives me an actual neck to rope. And then on the other side, we're just gonna line up the other leg with this leg. Up. Looks pretty good to me. We got our kicker. It's gonna go right here flush with the front legs. And you just wanna get it as centered as you can. And one cool thing about this dummy, or one of my favorite things, is we travel all over the place and do clinics and go rope at other people's ranches and stuff. And so we usually take a roping dummy with us just in case they don't have one. And all you gotta do is snatch this kicker off, just pull the screws out, and then it fits really, really nice in the trailer. It'll fit in your tack room. You can basically put this thing anywhere you want when it comes to travel. So that's another benefit to having a smaller roping dummy like this that you can take with you anywhere. But yeah, we're just gonna pop 2 screws here on one on each leg, and it'll just keep it balanced. Okay, so now that we're done with the body of our dummy and the legs, we're gonna measure the nose of the dummy and get it cut how we need it so it matches the head. And this part of the dummy is flat so that you don't have any help when you're practicing those running shots, and nothing to catch it if you throw your shot too flat. So we want it to be slide off of there if we're incorrect. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line this corner up with the edge of this board and this corner up with the edge of this board to make it look like that. That's kind of the angle that I want for my calf's head to the ground. And then I'm just gonna score a line right there, and then I'm gonna cut that corner of the dummy off. All right, so now that I have this side marked, all I have to do is cut this side and then trace it onto this part of the dummy, and then both sides will match and line up. I'm also going to, once we get this nose put on here, I'm gonna block the end of the nose, and I didn't talk about that at the beginning of the video. The reason I'm gonna block the end of the nose is just so this nose doesn't catch my rope and get really annoying. As you're whipping your rope off of there or something, or you throw a shot, it could get hung up in that nose. So we're just gonna block off the end of it as well, just to close that out. It'll look a little nicer, and then our rope won't catch on it when we're practicing. them up on the dummy right where they should go. We got our nose pieces cut. All we're gonna do is line them up flush, put a couple of screws in there, and our nose will be done. Okay, now that we got our nose done, we're just gonna cut us a little block piece here for the front. Looks like we got a hair, 3 1/8. We're gonna cut it a little big so it fits snug and then just screw it in there. All right, there you have it, guys. Now there's only one thing left to do, and that's try not to miss your first shot on your brand new dummy. It's key. I'm gonna throw a 4-hand turnover hip shot just so it's hard. It's not funny, Devin. It's not funny. If you miss your first shot, you have to throw the whole dummy away and start over. So I gotta go to the hardware store real quick. There it is. That'll work. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. This video today is brought to you, like I said, by the new 310 EDU YouTube channel. We're gonna have the podcast, we're gonna have educational content, exclusive stuff just for the EDU. Go check it out. Give us a subscribe. We sure would appreciate it. Be looking for live streams coming up. We're going to start live streaming on YouTube on the EDU channel, teaching roping shots, teaching doctrine techniques, all sorts of things here on this dummy. So I'm going to be able to show you up close and personal the things that I do to get done what I need to get done as far as all the turnover shots, all the hula hands, all the backhands, all the things you guys want to learn. So shoot us some questions. We love to answer them. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.